What's up, guys? It's Nick from the No Fucking Around crew here. Pardon the lost voice, but it's coming back. It'll come back. It is a Monday night for me. Might be a Monday morning, a Monday evening, a Monday day, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday, or a Saturday, or a Sunday for you. Whatever it is, I hope you're enjoying it, because that's what we do at the No Fucking Around crew. We learn, we grow, we love, we play, and we enjoy. All right? Today I want to talk to you guys about something that's near and dear to my heart, mental health. You know, I always talk about mental strength and emotional strength and physical and spiritual strength, but mental health is a totally different thing. And I'm bringing it up today. Number one, I've had trouble with mental health in the past. That's why I put such a strong emphasis on strengthening your mind. Just because I've learned a lot over the past few months and years, and I've realized the importance of having a strong mind. But then there's mental health. And it seems that for some reason, this day and age, a lot of people have trouble with mental health. Growing up, I was lucky to have my grandparents around, and they were from a different generation, and I feel like they were stronger than these generations in general. They had to face a lot of hard things back in the day, you know, the Great Depression, all that kind of stuff, coming over here to the country as immigrants, and just busting their asses and stuff like that. So I don't think they had time to sit back and really what's the word? I don't want to, say anything that I don't mean. They didn't have time to sit back and say, is my mental health okay? I don't even think people regarded mental health as anything back in the day. But nowadays, we do. And it seems like a lot of people are having trouble with keeping their mental health in check, I guess, for lack of a better words. And it's a problem. You know, probably, I don't know the number or the amount of people that are on antidepressants, you know, from Zoloft to Xanax to who knows what else. But I'd imagine the number's pretty alarming. And it's disheartening that we don't have programs in place, and that it's not taught in schools how you should work on your mental health and how important it is. And the reason why I'm bringing it up today is because I ran into an issue at work where one of my coworkers had essentially a nervous breakdown today. And it hit me pretty hard because he's a really, really good kid. He's got a great heart. And I had trouble watching the whole thing go down today because I was kind of in my own head today. I was feeling just a little down. And so I started off the day, just the energy in the office was off. One of my other coworkers, she's usually in a good mood. She was also seeming like she was off, and everybody was feeding off each other's energy, it seemed. But my one coworker who had the anxiety problem today was in very rare form, and it was pretty frightening. And it got me pretty emotional because, you know, I've only been working there for about 6 months, but I really care about this kid because he's got a genuine heart, and I felt like today I was really nervous about him potentially maybe doing something to hurt himself. And it got me to the point where I cried at work today in the bathroom, and I'm not afraid to admit that, you know, because I was really, really afraid for him. And, you know, I go through my own mental issues, and I could deal with them because they're mine. But to see somebody else going through it hurts. And the first thing you want to do is try to help them. And I'm not a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but I'll throw in my 2 cents and say, hey man, you know, everything's going to be fine. Don't worry, I'm here for you. You know what I mean? I love you, man. Don't worry about it. But that only goes so far, especially when somebody's at the point of where he was today. And he was at a scary point. I had to talk to my boss about it because I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't sit back and just watch the situation unfold and pray for the best. I couldn't do that. I had to talk to somebody about it. And eventually, they called the kid's parents up and they came and got him because he was in the position where he should not be there anymore and he needed to be around family. I'd imagine he probably needs to be around a therapist or a psychiatrist at this point because it was pretty frightening. And like I said, it's a growing problem, it seems, around the country at least. I don't know about the world, but we should talk about mental health more, and it shouldn't be something that there's a stigma around it, because if somebody needs help, people should be there to help them. And he was very open and vocal about what he was feeling today, which was good. He didn't seem like he was any shame involved in it, but he was a different person today. And like I said, it was pretty scary. And I just hope that he's okay. I hope he's doing okay. I pray for him. And whoever is battling anything like that, I don't know the underlying reasons for what he's going through. And a lot of the times we don't know what people are going through in their minds. But if you are one of those people that is going through something very deep and you can't handle it, do not be afraid to reach out to a hotline or a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist. If your family, or friends, or check yourself into a hospital. It's important that you recognize what's going on. I know that when you're in that moment, you're not thinking clearly. But if you can take a step back and say to yourself, okay, I'm not right. I need to go get some help now because I don't want to do something that I'm going to regret. All right? It's important. And, we all have to be there for each other as well. It's important. And it's not, oh, now that this happened, I'll be there for you. No, as people, as coworkers, as friends, as family, as co-human beings, we should all be there for each other. We shouldn't pick on each other, make fun of each other's differences and stuff like that. It's really important that we come together as a collective unit and make sure everybody feels okay. And at work, I try to do that my best. I goof around with people, make jokes and stuff like that. But I think everybody would recognize it's like, it's all in fun. And it's not anything that is going to hurt anybody's feelings. People joke around with each other and stuff like that. But I would imagine that the kid at work knows that I'm there for him. I mean, I gave him a hug when he left, and I told him that I loved him, because I do love him. I really do. I care about the kid greatly. And I just hope that he pulls through. And I know he will. I know he will, because he's got a good heart. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and he'll be just fine. The scary thing to me is that, how do you come back from that in a way? I don't know how you come back from that. Do you get put on medication? I don't know. Do you talk to a therapist and say, hey, how is this happening? Why is this happening? That's beyond my pay grade, I guess. That's what they get paid for, to explain why that stuff is happening. I don't know. It seemed like he just had some stuff that he had to get let out maybe. And I don't know. I can't read through the lines on it. Like I said, I just hope he's okay. And if anybody else is going through something like this, reach out for help, okay? This is very important. You are loved. You have people that love you. The sun will come out tomorrow, okay? I promise you that. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just got to hold on sometimes, okay? And when it's too hard for you to hold on by yourself, reach out to people, okay? Nobody has to fight this war alone. Nobody has to fight this battle alone. If you have friends, if you have family, reach out to them. If you don't, reach out to a professional. Reach out to a hospital, okay? If you need help, reach out to anybody that can help you. You can email me if you want. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist, but I'll certainly be there to talk to you if you needed help, okay? But at the end of the day, reach out for professional help if you need it. Yes, so that is why ultimately I focus so much on mental strength, all right? Because it helps you in times like this, where if you are dealing with a mental health issue and you have been working on your mental strength, it will allow you to potentially look at the situation a little bit differently and say, okay, I'm feeling this way, that way, or the other way. Let me try to practice what I've been learning on this situation. You know, you could throw some of your tools or your skills at it and be like, okay, I'm at a fucking 100 right now. That's how I feel. Let me throw something at it. Let me throw some breathing techniques at it. Oh shit, I'm down to 95. Okay, let me take a few minutes and I'll go to the bathroom while I'm at work and meditate for a little bit. Okay, I'm back. I'm down to a 90. You know, all right, let me call one of my friends up and just talk to them. I'm down to an 85. Let me talk to my boss and tell him, something's off, down to an 80. And then just keep going down. You never know if that kind of stuff could work, Go outside for a walk. I'm down to a 75. Whatever you do, try your best not to think of what might be stirring up the situation, thinking about the past, thinking about any sort of regrets or guilt or shame or anything like that, because that certainly doesn't help the situation. And I know that it's easier said than done, especially when you're in that moment and you're already getting worked up over stuff. But just try your best to deflect those thoughts and give you some positivity. I mean, I know a lot of this stuff can come on like that, right? Depression and anxiety. So think about a time a couple days ago when you might have been really, really happy and say to yourself, okay, I know that this is just a moment in my life or time that I'm feeling this way. I know that this is going to pass. I want it to pass as soon as possible. So let me do what I can in order to help it along the way, right? I'm not saying that you're going to snap your fingers and be out of it, but take those 5% off every single time, right? Think of a couple days ago, oh, you were just at your friend's birthday party, or, you went to the movies and it was a great movie. Yeah, it is a great movie. Oh yeah, I had a good time. Drops it down to another 5%. I know that's a small thing. Oh yeah, I went to the movies, but you don't know how much fun somebody can have at the movies, or they went out on a date with somebody, or they went out to dinner, or they went for a run or a jog and they felt ecstatic or euphoric from it. You never know what people feel. So anything that you could use in order to just drop it down to those percentages is useful and beneficial for yourself. And like I said, if it's not working, reach out to a professional, okay? I'm not gonna lie, today was tough. It was tough for me in general. I got to the point, there's been stuff bothering me as well. I have a health issue going on, which I'm going to crack. I'm gonna get it better. And I'm still going through this breakup. I know it's been a few months, but it still bothers me sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does, sometimes it bothers me more. I try to get past it. I try to think of the positives that have come out of it, and there have been a lot of them. Sometimes you start thinking about, oh, I miss this person. Of course I miss her. I care about her. I love her, But there's plans for everything, right? Everything happens for a reason. I try to look at the positives in the situation because I know there are a bunch of them right now. So yes, I was in a hole and I could feel his energy and it was just compounding. It was a weird day. And I was driving home afterwards. I went to the doctor. I was driving home afterwards and it kind of all just hit me. And I kind of broke down again in the car and was crying because I really feel for this kid. I just do. I don't like watching people suffer like that, always try to help get somebody out of something get out of something immediately. And when I'm not able to help somebody like that, it hurts, But like I said, sometimes you don't have, you're not skilled. You don't have, that's not my profession, right? I guess to get somebody out of that, I could just do what I could do. I could do the best that I could do based upon what I know. And I just, I've been in situations where people are feeling like that. So I try to help them out to snap out of it if I can. But, sometimes you can't. And sometimes they need a lot more help than maybe you are able to give, right? But always be there for somebody to show support, because it's greatly appreciated and it's very, very important to show somebody that you care about them and you love them. All right, so that's going to be it for the day. I just hope you guys all are feeling okay. Get your mental strength exercises in, meditate, practice your discipline, get your confidence up. And yeah, and if it's something that you're going through yourself, if you're battling any sort of anxiety or depression, reach out to people who have been there before. I mean, there's tons of videos out there. I'm sure that you could look them up and find out how people deal with and cope with their depression and anxiety. And like I said a million times already, if it's too much to bear, reach out to somebody, okay? Hotlines. Go to the hospital, check yourself into a facility somewhere, okay? And reach out to your friends and family and say, hey, I need some help. I need some help. Just be there to listen to me, talk to me, and maybe come and pick me up and take me somewhere or something like that. Anything like that matters. And if you're on the other side of that and you hear that your friend or your family member or somebody that you are worried, that you care about is venting to you and you feel like maybe they need somebody right now, get in the car and drive over to them and make sure they're okay. Spend a couple hours with them, take them out to coffee or tea. Spend the night over their apartment to make sure they're okay. And if it's too much, reach out to their family and ask them if they want to go to the hospital or anywhere to get some help, a facility of some sorts. It doesn't hurt. It can only help, okay? So we're all here for each other. And on that note, you guys know everything I always say, but I'm just going to leave you with a big fat I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later.